welcome, Mary Cummings. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining me here today. And I want to congratulate you first and foremost on being named the village historian. Do you know that there's a New York state law that requires all villages to have a village historian? So we're delighted that you could do that. I think you are the first female village historian in Southampton Village's history, which is, as you know, very long. But what do you think of being the village historian? Could you share a little bit?
What it's like being the village historian? Well, I feel very honored to begin with, and I feel that it calls on what I've been doing practically all my life.
Right. Well, actually, maybe that's a good place to start. Also, what have you been doing your whole life here in the village of Southampton, and what's your current involvement with the History Museum?
Well, I direct the research center at the History Museum. I have actually many duties there. I do a lot of cataloging. We had someone set up a really beautiful archive before I came. Excellent. And, people donate things every day. You never catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember during COVID, you filmed a lot of episodes about people of note that lived or spent time in Southampton Village. And I have to say that was a great way to get through COVID, watching some of those. I mean, it was very interesting to learn about the different people that have lived here and some of their idiosyncrasies. And, some of them were very colorful. But maybe you could just share the story about one of those that you stands out as one of the people that you spoke about.
Well, I concentrated on the women, actually. And, Frances Miller, who grew up in what is now Whitefield, the Breeze Estate, she was headed for a life as a debutante and lived that life and married someone named McKeever, who also was a big summer colony name, and had a family. And then she decided to be herself. She left all that, and she ultimately became a very well-known textile designer. Wow. And traveled the world, married a Haitian, had quite a colorful life.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was trying to get at. Right. And then you did talk about the DuPonts, who were definitely a fixture in this village.
Yes.
It's the same DuPont that founded Winterthur, which has American decorative arts and really just a beautiful home down there in Wilmington. But his house here on Meadow Lane on the ocean was a very famous house. It was a Georgian house. Unfortunately, we've lost that home.
Right.
But I love the story because it was in pre-air conditioning days. And even though it was, hotter than Hades in their home, they insisted that everyone come to their Friday night dinners in black tie. And I understand Mr. DuPont, because of his American antiques, did not want the sea air, the damp sea air, ruining his antiques. So they would keep the windows shut, and everyone would just be stifling in their dining room for dinner. But everyone wanted to come to the DuPont house for dinner. So it's a great story, and I just think it gives a complete image of Southampton, sort of in the mid 20th century.
Yes, exactly. And he was a stiff man. He was very tight-necked. But his wife loved Southampton and was not fond of the Winterthur headquarters there. So
they bought the property opposite. I think it's at the end of Captain's Neck Lane. It's called the Ruth Wales DuPont Preserve.
Right.
Which is still beautifully pristine, and you can go and visit it. You got to watch out for ticks. But it's so nice that property was preserved.
It is.
So that it's forever going to be wild. But, he was also very instrumental in helping with the Halsey House.
Absolutely,
and also the Pelletreau storehouse on Main Street.
Yeah.
He gave a lot of the money and some of the furnishings and kept them up, which was really great.
Well, we owe a lot to him.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, he helped preserve a lot.
Maybe she nudged him, too.
Well, I appreciate that. No, but it's great that, again, that part of Southampton's history could be preserved.
Yes.
And I have a couple of questions I thought I would ask you too. So, what makes Southampton so historically significant?
Well, it's chock full of reminders, historic reminders of every phase of Southampton. I mean, the whaling era, the resort era, and and the early early pioneers, really, in 1640.
Yeah.
We have Conscience Point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's gone through a lot of iterations and evolution.
Yes.
And so I want to talk a little bit about this great new project that we've put together for the village.
Please do, yeah.
Not only for people who live here, but visitors that come to our village, and that is the historical walking tour. I think we have 36 sites that have been identified, and you provided really the backbone of the content for those 36 sites. So maybe you could just talk a little bit about the walking tour, the app, and
Right.
how that's supposed to work, and what people can learn from it.
Right. Well, I learned a lot from it. I mean, I have been dealing with these landmarks for a long time and walking past other things, which I thought, well, I should look into that. So it was a pleasure for me to actually do the research and find out the real history of these buildings. I mean, like right in the middle of Main Street, we have 3 businesses that date from the mid 1800s. It's just kind of amazing.
Hildreth and Corwin. Yeah, which is just excellent.
Yeah.
They're still owned by the same family.
Families,
So
yeah.
it's incredible. I don't think you could find that in too many places in America today, here in the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. But could you just tell us a couple of the stories that you learned on the walking tour, working on that content for those sites? What really stands out? Is there one that you're like, wow, this is really quite interesting?
Let me see. Well, I was, of course, the Parish Art Museum has moved, but it was very interesting to, and I found out more than I knew before about how I actually had interviewed 2 grandnieces of Samuel Parish, and one of them told me, Sam had all the ideas, but James had the money. So,
and who was James again?
And James is his brother.
His brother, okay.
And he was very wealthy and very much a bon vivant, traveled the world, whereas Samuel Parish, well, he had this Quaker background, and he, he married for the first time when he was 79. So the relationship and how Sam got the idea for it was for the education and the edification of the local people, his museum.
Which is, it's excellent. And actually the Southampton Arts Center that's there
and now it's the Arts Center.
Is trying to do something similar. They want to educate the community through the arts.
Exactly.
So I think
So we're glad that's still here.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you did this research on these sites, was there anything that was a surprise to you? Was there anything you learned that you actually didn't know? And I know you know everything, but was there anything
I don't know
that you learned
everything,
that you're like,
but
wow,
I'm trying to think of something that just really struck me as a surprise.
Well, tell us a little bit about the coal bin. For example, I think that's very interesting. I never knew that story about at Bowdoin Square.
Right. So there's two paintings, right? And they came first. Well, they were dredged out of this place where people went dancing, where the black community gathered, and they're wonderful paintings of doing the jitterbug or whatever it is they're doing. And so we turned them over to the museum. What's its name exactly? Anyway,
African American Museum. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I guess they're going to be displayed prominently.
Yeah. No, that's great, because that's, again, a little part of Southampton Village history that I didn't know, and I've learned quite a bit over the years.
Right.
But and could you tell us, how have you seen the village evolve? And
oh my goodness,
it's tremendous, I know. But do you agree that the village has been able to preserve some of its historic character?
Oh, the village is still beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's important. But I grew up here, and it was very different, very different. There were farm fields all over the village. Yeah. Now there's a couple
I even
tokens.
remember the farm fields off of Wickapog Road.
Yeah,
Rows of potatoes and
right.
corn. Yeah,
and it's been sad to see a lot of the places razed, but I think on the whole, right now it's absolutely beautiful with the leaves out finally.
Yeah, finally
and,
after a long,
yeah,
hard winter. But why do you think it's so important to preserve this history here in Southampton?
Well, it's what makes us unique, and it makes us interesting, and it keeps it beautiful. I think it's the most important thing. Yeah.
How do you think we can connect new generations with the past? I hope this app is something that people will find of interest and, again, have a curiosity to learn about the history of the village and, learn what went on here, centuries ago, while you're still walking the same streets. I mean, Job's Lane was opened in the 1600s.
Yeah.
And you still can walk down that street as it was, 400 years ago. It's kind of amazing.
It is amazing.
What do you think we can how can we involve new generations in the past?
Well, I actually think this walking tour is a big step because I think people are curious. They walk by and they think, I wonder, but they, that's the end of it.
Yeah. Do you think there's more of an interest now? What would you say?
Well, I've been thinking, and people have been saying that people are less interested in history. And I think that's probably true, but maybe we have reached a point where there's a glimmer of renewal.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you also, the walking tour was something that had been contemplated by the comprehensive plan. And it really came to light a year ago when I was standing in front of Village Hall, and this German tourist came up to me. He didn't know that I was the mayor. I just happened to be standing there. And he said, where can I learn about Southampton? He goes, I've come all the way here to see Southampton, which is obviously world famous. He said, is there a map or something that I can, learn more about the village? And I had to say to him, I'm sorry, we really don't have anything like that. So this app that, again, can be downloaded easily with a QR code and show you 36 sites in the village of note and importance, and then educate you all about them. I mean, everything from Cooper's Beach, which, as you know, last year was named the #1 beach in the United States, to the Halsey House, the oldest frame structure still standing in New York State, to the Dune Church. It had been a life-saving station and then converted into a church. I mean, there's so much interesting history. The oldest Presbyterian church congregation in the country is here in Southampton Village. And they have that beautiful white church on the corner of South Main Street and Meeting House Lane. But I mean, we have so much that, maybe we take for granted. But as I say, when a tourist comes from far away, they want to learn about what all this is. And I think it's great that they're going to be able to do that now, and that we have a tool that will be able to,
And there's hooks in there, because these people, as you say, were very colorful.
Oh, yeah.
They had a lot more character, it seems to me, than we find
It's true.
now.
There was the story of, I think, one of Mrs. Betts, who brought a gondola back from Venice.
Yes.
So that she could be rowed out on Lake Agawam in her gondola.
Yes, to go to the Dune Church.
Yeah, so these are amazing stories that people don't really know, but I think they find it interesting to learn about them because it gives a perspective and insight into another era of what was going on here. And it's always a fun story to talk about a woman that had a gondola brought over from Venice.
Yes.
So, final couple of questions here. What do you want people to remember from coming to visit Southampton? What would be a takeaway that you would really like them to focus on?
Well, I hope it spurs an interest in history and in the past. I mean, there are a lot of movies of it that, you go back in time. It's got to be a popular kind of hook for people.
Right.
And it's certainly something I experience every day at the museum, because looking at the old photographs, the old postcards, everything.
Well, I love some of the old postcards of Southampton. I have a few myself. And Mr. Woodward has an amazing collection.
Yes.
Which is a great asset, actually. But do you have a lot of people come up to you and ask you questions, knowing that you're the village historian? Oh, could you tell me about this or that?
At the research center, I do. I would say a big proportion of them are interested in their houses if they have any historic, roots at all.
Yeah, that's always obviously very interesting. But so, Why do you believe preserving and sharing the rich local history matters here in 2026?
Well, because if we let it go, we'll be just like every other place, you know? We won't have anything to offer. I mean, we still have the ocean. Nobody can, take that away.
Take the ocean away.
No.
The beaches really are magnificent.
Yeah. But I think it's really important to the people who live here. It gives them some pride. I mean, I feel very proud that we've managed to save as much as we have.
Definitely.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. No, I feel very privileged and honored to be the mayor of this community because it really is outstanding. Anyway,
Yes.
Well, Mary, I really want to thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us about the history of Southampton. Is there anything else you'd like to share with everybody?
Well, I don't think so. It's been a real pleasure, though.
All right. Thank you very much, Mary. Always a pleasure to have you around. Thank you.
Right.